Hello, Kramer and Garber band students. This is Mr. Lewis, and I'm just going to do a quick video on some things you can do on Smart Music just to search up some cool music. So the first thing is I'm on my homepage. It's actually a student homepage. I signed up for the classes as a student. You'll notice I got a few assignments I got to turn in. But I want to focus on the right over here. This is what you can use to search music. So I sent out a little assignment that just had some titles that you might be interested in looking at, just some fun music to play along with. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to search up stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the solos they offer for different instruments. So you go down to this menu, hit solo, and then on the left side there's going to be a menu. And the first thing you need to do is you need to just put in, you'll see that there's genres, instruments, and difficulty. For right now we're just going to put in our instrument. So I'm going to go down and I'm just going to do flute. So this populates all the flute solos. Okay, so one of the ones that we suggested was rock instrumental solos. So maybe you know the title, so you go rock instrumental solos up in the search bar and return. It comes up here, so you click on it and it shows you the book. And let's say you want to check out what's in the book. So you hit open, and then you go to movements, which is like your table of content. And let's say you want to look at celebration. So you put in celebration, then you hit open over here, and then it'll go to this screen while it's pulling up the file. And then you're left with this screen. Now this screen is without hitting the play button up here. So here's the play button, here's the record button. Okay, and so this is a good screen for you just to practice, so you can just play along, do your 4 steps, work on the music. Once you're done with that, you've got some different options by hitting the play button. So if you look up here, you've got the metronome, which is off right now, but I can turn it on. You've got your part, your actual part, in this case the flute, and you've got the accompaniment part. So I'm going to play this so you can hear what it sounds like with all the different parts going. Notice I've got the flute part up the highest, and then the accompaniment and the metronome a little bit lower. So here's what this sounds like. Now maybe you just wanted to do it without the metronome, just your part and accompaniment. So you just click out of the metronome, and then it'll come back in where you left off. If you just want your own part, click off the accompaniment. This is just your part. Maybe you want your metronome and your part. Okay, and so that's there's a bunch of different ways you can practice it with the accompaniment part, without anything else, with just your part, so on and so forth. If you want to adjust the tempo faster or slower, it's here. So we'll do like a real fast version of Celebration for a couple minutes. We'll add in the accompaniment part. Here we go. So you can see how that works. Now, if you want to go back and work on a section, let's say you want to work at starting at measure 10, go back to here. It'll start right there on measure 10. If you want to go back to the beginning, just put your cursor here and go back to the beginning. Okay, so that's basically for almost every song. Most songs have accompaniment parts, some songs don't. That's how that works. All right, now I'm going to go back to the home screen with the flute solos. Let's say you just want to explore what they have here. So here's all the different options they have for flute solos. Okay, and they've got a bunch of different pages. And on the right, you'll see a dot for difficulty. So green is easy, and then yellow is medium, intermediate, and then red is advanced or more difficult. Okay, I'm just going to minimize this for a second. All right, so you've got all this different stuff. Let's say we go to the next page, and you'll see we've got some difficult ones here, some intermediate ones, and some easy ones. So let's say I want to check out Classic Festival's flute. It's the same thing. Okay, you go to open, you go to your movement. Okay, maybe you want to do rondo or serenade. Let's do serenade. And then you would just open it, and it would populate it the same way. It'd have a flute solo part for you, and you could do the accompaniment or the metronome. Okay, some solos are written for multiple instruments. So, for example, like Believer up here is written for multiple instruments. So it's a little bit different. You go to open, and then it defaults to alto sax. So you just, if you're a flute player, you hit that little back button, and then you go to flute, and then you hit open. And then it'll do the same thing. It'll populate your screen, and then you'll have the same options with the metronome and the accompaniment and all that. So if you look, that's this right here. Okay? All right. Now, let's say you want to check out some band music. Okay, it's a little bit different for band music. So I'll go back to my home screen, and then I'll scroll down to band and orchestra. And that'll populate it with all the band and orchestra pieces. And then the filter on the left, depending on if you're doing concert band or jazz ensemble, you want to filter to that. Otherwise, it'll have a bunch of orchestra pieces in for it. Okay, and let's say you're going to check out one of the pieces I listed that you might want to check out. So maybe you're going to check out the Star Wars saga, highlights from the Star Wars saga. So you put in highlights from the Star Wars saga, return, pops it up, open it up, and then for the band, you go to open. Again, it defaults to alto sax, so pick your part. So let's say we're going to do trumpet. All right. Now, it says part because sometimes it's first and second or first, second, and third. So let's say we're going to do first trumpet. Then you can hit open. And then same thing. You can practice it without anything, just working on it. You can put a metronome to it, accompany it to it, so on and so forth. So this is kind of what this sounds like with everything. So you get the idea. Now, if you want to just kind of like go through and see what band music's there, if there's different things, you can type in a title. It has some stuff, but a lot of stuff it doesn't have. Like if it doesn't have, if you type in Disney, there's not a lot of Disney stuff on here. But you can refine your search by going down here on the left. And if you look, like if you wanted to look up marches, you could come down here and do marches. And then let's say you wanted to do the difficulty to be medium easy. Go to medium easy, and that's going to show you it's got 4 pages of marches at medium easy. Let's say you want to check the Avenger march out, you go to that. Okay, and then same thing, open. It's going to default to alto sax. Let's say we're tenor sax. So we play tenor sax, hit open, and it'll open your tenor sax part. All right, so that's just some ways you can play some solos or some band music, and it just gives you a lot of options for playing some music. Now, there's some other options on the right here. So, for example, if you go to jazz improv, there's some cool stuff, especially for the high school kids that are in jazz bands, some different methods and some cool duets and some blues stuff you can work on. These exercises, if you go to these, it's got scales, it's got arpeggios, and they're all made by Smart Music. So if you go to Smart Music Scales, and then you would do the same thing like you were doing for like a band piece. You would pick your instrument and then pull it up. Okay, so you go to open, and if you wanted to do, clarinet, okay, and then movement has the different, major quarter notes, major whole notes, so on and so forth. So you can just explore it, have fun with it. Okay, I know y'all love having fun with scales. All right, and then a couple other things. There's sight reading, which we would actually Sight Reading Factory is what we want to use for sight reading. But there's small ensembles, okay, and the small ensembles our duets and trios and stuff like that, and you can look at those and see what those have to offer. And then there's lots of method books. So like sixth graders, all the standard excellence method books are on here. Seventh graders, the essential elements are. Okay, the rest of you guys, you can just like if I'm a percussionist, I could go to the Alfred drum method book. Okay, and I could go to movements and go to lesson one, open. Sorry, go to lesson one, number 5, and see what it's all about. And then just play along. So the method books have a lot of different stuff that you can do. Hopefully, all the percussionists in this program could handle this one right here. But there's a lot of different things you can do in the method books. Just little excerpts that you can play. All right, so we really encourage you guys to check it out. We're trying to make the best of a not great situation. So this offers you a lot of different things to look at and practice along to. All right, guys, take it easy. We miss you. Bye.